Let me ask you something. Do you just love being alone? Do you love getting into your apartment, closing the door, and feeling as though you can finally breathe? You can just be with yourself. No stress, no pressure, no plans. Well, let me tell you, I know exactly how you feel. Because I think a lot of us have felt that. That specific feeling when you close the door on the world for a bit and something in you just settles, goes quiet, comes back to itself. And so I decided to actually look into this. I did the research. I talked to people. I went down some genuinely fascinating rabbit holes. And what I found was amazing, truly enlightening. And I really want to share it with you. Because if you're one of those people who loves being alone, this is going to fascinate you because, firstly, your brain is doing something genuinely remarkable. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But let me tell you what else I found out. You are not weird, not even slightly. You are actually amazing. And I have the science to back this up. And I will show you why. Here are 6 ways wanting to be alone makes you an amazing person. Number 1, your brain is literally wired differently, and that's an advantage. Research shows that people who love solitude often have a more sensitive internal reward system. They reach what psychologists call their optimal stimulation level much faster than other people. In plain English, this means they don't need as much external input, such as noise, people, activity, to feel good. And because they hit that limit quicker, they're also much better at recognizing when they need to step back. That's not weakness. That's self-awareness. Most people are running on overstimulation and they don't even notice. But you notice, you respond, and you protect yourself before you need to. And that is an incredibly useful thing to be able to do, and most people never learn it, and they burn out. Number 2, you use solitude as an actual tool, not as a default. Now, there's a massive difference between loneliness and intentional solitude, and people who love being alone understand this distinction instinctively. Loneliness is being alone when you don't want to be. Yes, it's painful, it's real. But solitude is choosing to be alone because you know what it does for you. And studies show that when people choose time alone to reflect and recharge, they experience higher life satisfaction and lower anxiety. They're not escaping life, they're processing it. While a lot of people distract themselves from their own thoughts, you've learned to sit with yours, to understand them, to actually know what's going on inside your own head. And that is a huge advantage, and most people spend decades trying to develop it. Number 3, you think for yourself, genuinely. And psychologists have a term for this. It's called dispositional autonomy. In simple terms, it means you're comfortable in your own mind. You don't need constant noise or validation to feel okay. And because of that, you tend to think more independently. You're not outsourcing your opinions to whoever's loudest in the room. You sit with ideas. You turn them over. You figure out what you actually think before someone else tells you what to think. In a world absolutely drowning in hot takes and groupthink, the person who can sit quietly and arrive at their own conclusions, now that is rare. That is genuinely rare. I once knew someone who literally could not form an opinion on anything until she had checked everything with somebody else. Exhausting for everyone involved, including her. You show up better for the people you love. I know this sounds backwards, but hear me out. People who regularly recharge alone don't arrive at their relationships depleted. They've had time to actually miss people, to decompress, to refill, which means that when they do show up, they're present, genuinely present, not performing connection from an empty tank. And research confirms this. People who build intentional solitude into their lives come back to relationships with more patience, more empathy, and more genuine warmth. And people who love their alone time tend to form deeper, more meaningful relationships, precisely because they're selective about where they invest their energy. They're not spreading themselves thin across 50 shallow connections. They're going deep with a few. It's quality over quantity every time. You can focus at a level most people can't reach. When there are no distractions, no noise, no interruptions, no one needing something, you can enter what psychologists call deep work. This is a state of concentration that most people genuinely struggle to access in the modern world. And this is where the good stuff happens, where ideas are built properly, where problems are actually solved rather than just talked about, where creative work goes from fine to genuinely good. In a world of constant interruption, the ability to sit, think and create without distraction. Now that is a superpower, a genuine practical career and life-changing superpower that you have. And number 6, you actually listen, and people know it. Now this one is my favourite, because people who love solitude aren't focused on being the loudest voice in the room. They actually hear what people are saying. They listen more carefully. They notice the non-verbal stuff. They pick up on tone, on what's not being said, on the gap between what someone is saying and what they actually mean, which leads to something that is genuinely powerful. It's called emotional intelligence, the kind where people feel truly understood rather than just heard. Now think about the best listener you know. Really think about them. And I would bet a significant amount of money they're also someone who values their alone time. Because when you're comfortable with silence, you don't need to fill it. You can just be present with someone. And in a world where everyone is waiting for their turn to talk, the person who actually listens, that's the person people remember. That's the person people trust. That's the person people come back to. You make a great friend.